Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare.
Everyone can repeat after me. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama,
Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna,
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Krishna, Krishna
Krishna Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare
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 Rama,
Rama, Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama, Rama
Rama Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Hare,
Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama, Rama
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare,
Hare
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama
Rama,
Rama,
Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
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 Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare Hare
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Rama Hare Rama
Rama,
Rama
Rama
Rama Hare Hare
Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna Krishna,
Krishna Hare Hare Hare
Hare
Rama Hare
Rama,
Rama
Hare Rama,
Rama
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 Rama,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare.
We'll start prayer before I start the class. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Gnananjana Chakshurmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunatham Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha
Radha Krishna Padam Saguna Raghunatham Samvitam Sajiva
Sadhyam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya
Krishna
Devam Shri
Chaitanya
Radha
Devi
Krishna
Shri
Padam
Radha Krishna Padam
He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagat
Mandu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namasave Tatra Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Krishna Sute Devi Pranami Hari Priya Kalpatarubhya Se Kripa Sindhu Kayavasya Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namo Namaha
Hare Krishna Hare
Hare Krishna Krishna Krishna
Hare
Hare Hare
Hare
Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Mukam karoti vachalam pangam
Akalam Pangam
giri
Yatkrapatam Ham Vande
Tarinam. I'll just thank you everyone for joining. I think we'll start now. I'll just present the screen what we have discussed.
Coach. That is some.
I think I can see there are a couple of people who has not joined since last week and who has started this week. So I will just have a quick overview of what we discussed last week before I go ahead with continuation of the last session. Hope that is okay with everyone who has joined last week. Yeah, thank you so much for the ones who have joined last week and continued to join in this week. Just start. So we are talking about this topic of material problems and spiritual solutions. So we will be going through these particular topics in today's discussion. How humans are superior to animals. What are the real problems of life? Commonly seen problems in this. Gravity and root cause of the problems. Spiritual solutions to those problems, and we'll have discussion and question and answers. So we have this question like we discussed last week, how humans are superiors to animals. Okay, so I would like to listen from new people, whoever has joined in this week, like what is the difference or how humans are superior to animals? What are the things? Can anybody answer? You can unmute yourself and then tell me how you feel like why humans are superior to animals. What are the reasons? What you can think of?
Intelligence.
Yeah, intelligence. Yeah, humans has intelligence, and animals. Yeah, animals also does have intelligence.
But we can implement what we have, and yeah.
Okay, yeah. So basically, it is like we can, maybe you're telling something like choice. We can decide what we want to
Yeah,
do.
we can make a choice of what we have and what is good, what is bad. We can decide.
Right. Yeah. Wonderful. Anybody else?
Humans have a definite thought process which animals lack.
Okay. Ability to think. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very nice. Anybody else?
And the way of expression of the emotions, though animals also have the emotions,
Mm-hmm.
but then the
Yeah.
means
Good.
you
So,
can say the processed emotions
mm-hmm.
human can have.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I will take it as semi bliss. Okay. So which we have, like we can have, like, we can experience bliss or happiness which we don't see in animals. So what is the one more thing is there which we have, which is different from what animals do possess. So that is something called as determination. So we as humans will have something called as determination. So we wanted to do things, we will determine that, and then we will be having that we should be achieving certain goals in life. So that kind of a thing we will have. So now that we understood what are the differences, maybe I'll ask the easiest question, which is like, what are the common things between humans and animals? There are these are the things which we talked about, is like what are the differences till now. So I just wanted to know what are the things which are common to both humans and animals. Any Prabhujis or Matajis wanted to say there is common things between humans and animals? Maybe whoever has heard last week as well. So we talked about a verse as well from Mahabharata, which talked about is what is the things which are in common between.
Emotions.
Mm, okay.
Basic needs are common for every living things.
Yeah. So what are the basic needs?
Food.
Very good.
And
Yeah. Food. Aharam. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Anything else?
Sleep.
What is that? Sleeping.
Yeah.
Okay. Wonderful. Yeah. I gave a keyword as well called seed. SEED.
Defending,
Yeah. Wonderful. Who was that?
eating, sleeping, defending.
Oh, grand, wonderful. Yeah. So maybe now I got what I was looking for. Thank you. I'll just move on now. We'll just see the words from Mahabharata, which tells us what is the main difference between a human and animal, as well as it also tells what are the things which are common to both animals and humans. So it goes like ahara nidra bhayamaitu nancha samanyam yetat pashubhir naranam dharmo hitesham adhiko vishesho dharme nahi na pasubhi samanaha. So we'll just go and see what it talks about. So it says eating, sleeping, mating or enjoyment and defense. These four principles are common to both human beings and animals. So eating, sleeping, mating, enjoyment and defense. So those are the four which are common between the animals and the human beings as such. So now we are talking about these are the four things which are in common. So now let's understand what is the verse which is saying about what is the difference between the animals and the human beings. So it says like the main distinction between the human life and animal life is that a man can search after God, but an animal cannot. That is the main difference. Therefore, a man without that urge for searching after God is no better than an animal. So this is a famous verse from Mahabharata. So it is saying that first line, anyways, we all understand. Aharam is food, Nidra is sleeping, Bhaya is fear or defense, Maitunam is enjoyment or mating. So basically reproduction of the next generation. So Samanyam, so this is equal, or we are having this in Koshubir in both the animals as well as Naranam in human beings. These are the same, which are same in both the humans and the animals. So next thing which is saying that dharmohi tesham adhiko vishesho. The one which is main distinguishing between the two, the humans and the animals, is the ability to think about dharma. And the next line it says like dharmena hena pashubi samanaha. So somebody who doesn't have dharma or not following or not inquiring about dharma is equal to the animal. That was it is saying. So we should be all inquiring about the human, about the search of the God. Are you able to see my screen? Is it coming through? The verse, did it come through? I think it did not. Okay.
No?
So is it coming through now maybe? Okay, maybe I'll just unshare and share it back. Sorry.
Yes.
Just a second.
It has come.
Yeah, just a second. Yeah, I'm sharing it back. Sorry. Can you see the screen now? Okay. So we are talking about next thing which we are going to talk about is what are the real problems of life. So these are problems of life which we can think of. Definition of a real problem. Common to all, nobody wants it, nobody can avoid it. So can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, maybe there is. Hope you can see my screen now and I'm audible.
Yes.
Is that audible, Riddhi?
Yes, yes.
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 Okay, yeah. So we were seeing this. Sorry, there was a technical issue. So we were talking about this. What are the real problems of life? Definition of real problem. So this is like common to all. Nobody wants it. Nobody can avoid it. So can anybody tell like what are those problems? Anybody from who has not attended last week can tell about this? Which is a problem which is common to
Common
all.
would be like hunger.
Okay, yeah. No, that's common to all. Nobody wants it. Nobody can avoid it. Okay, hunger. Anybody else? Rama Mataji, you can say if you can think of any other issues.
And
Which are
shelter
real
as well,
problems?
really.
Got that.
Sorry, I did not hear.
Shelter, accommodation.
Okay, yeah, okay, yeah, okay. So I'll tell. Nobody wants it, and nobody can avoid it. So these two problems, hunger or shelter, we will be able to overcome such things. So I am talking about problems which we cannot overcome, or there is no solution as such.
Death, I think.
Okay, yeah, great, Prabhuji, Venkat Prabhu. Yeah, death is one problem. Yes, we cannot avoid. Yeah, wonderful answer. Anybody else?
Karmaphalam.
Dukh.
Disease.
Okay. Dukh. Okay. Yeah. Happiness and distress both. Yeah. Anybody else? Yeah.
Karmaphalam.
Karma phalam. Okay. That. Okay. Anybody else? Prakash, you want to give it a try? Bhagwan. You guys did not attend last week.
Birth is also one of the things which nobody can avoid.
Great.
Like
Yeah.
death.
Great. Yeah. Birth is also a thing which we cannot avoid. Yes. And which is common. These things, whichever I am talking about, real problems, are both common to humans, animals, for all living entities. It's
Right.
not just for only humans. So yeah, I got two things correctly here. One is
Old-
birth and death. There are two other things.
Old age.
Wonderful, yeah. Rohini Mataji, nice.
And the progression in the human life from childhood to adolescence.
Okay.
This
Okay,
is also
great. Yeah.
unstoppable. That has
Yes,
to come.
fine. Yeah, I think I got all the four which I'm looking for. I'll just show that. So these are the four things: birth, death, old age, and disease. So these are the four which we cannot avoid, or which is common to all. Any living entity has to go through this: birth, death, old age, and disease. Nobody wants it. Death, old age, disease, nobody wants it. Nobody can avoid these things. It is definitely going to come. So these are the problems which we don't have a solution for. So maybe I'll come to this story a little later while I'm going to talk about. So it is said in Bhagavad Gita also, this Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadhi Dukkha Doshana Darshanam. So it says that one who can perceive birth, death, old age, and disease as real problems is in knowledge. So one person, whoever has understanding that these are the real problems of life, is a person who is in complete knowledge or in full knowledge. That's what it says. So in the verse also it says that Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadhi. Janma is birth, Mrityu is death, Jara is old age, Vyadhi is disease. These are the four problems which every living entity has, not just humans, every living entity has. So it is said taking birth is a lot of pain is involved when a person is born, or when any entity is born, a living entity is born. You have to go through a lot of pain when you are taking the birth. The same way, even when you are going to die as well, it is going to be a really painful. So it is said in one of the Puranas that it is like how 40,000 scorpions at a time, when it bites, how much painful it will be. That is how the death also will be. So it is going to be so much of painful. So going through that process, or whatever, death, whenever you are going through. And old age as well, we all know nobody wants to become old. Everybody wants to be as youth, but it doesn't happen. We will become old. So because of this only, the so-called cosmetic industry is running. So nobody wants to become old, so they do all kinds of treatments for themselves so that they don't look old, even though that's something which is temporary. And there is something called disease. So we all know that diseases are also something which we cannot stop, and it will be continuously to go on happening. Okay, so the next thing which I'm going to talk about is like, these are the four problems which we talked about: birth, old age, disease, and death. Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadhi. So also along with this, in our lives, we are constantly tormented with three miseries. So I'm just going to talk about those three miseries, which is like Adhyatmika Klesha. So basically it is a misery. Misery is due to our own body and mind. In the US, 1 out of 2 cardiac arrests are on account of the stress. Or this is just stats from one of the magazine in India today. So mainly why suicides are happening is because of the academic pressure, lack of family support. So these are all like mental stress which one person has to go through by himself. It is not caused by anybody. We have problems with ourselves, our mental problems which we go about. It might be from our body, we might have our problem. The next thing which is like, that is Adi Bhautik Klesha, so which is caused by other living entities. If you see this, misery is due to other living entities. So there might be something called as terrorists who might be causing problems, or there might be bugs, or there might be this force which we have currently seen, which is causing a lot of disturbance, and there might be people who will be doing robbery or theft from us, so which is causing one or the other way. Maybe whoever it is working, they might all know there might be problems, or some manager comes and tells us something which is not so, we will be feeling misery, or maybe if our neighbors, our parents, whoever it is, everyone causing trouble to us. So this is the second type of misery. We have to go through it, we cannot avoid. And the third thing is like Adi Daivik. So miseries like natural disasters, for instance, severe cold, hot weather, thunderbolt, earthquakes, tornadoes, droughts, etc. So these are things which we cannot avoid. These are the three miseries which we have to all go through, or which we cannot avoid as such. So this is the recurring boil story which I was talking about. So one person, if we look into the first thing, so he has a boil on his right hand. So what he does, he goes to a doctor and asks for how can I treat this? Can you help me to get rid of this? Then he says, oh, it is very easy. So you take a cream and apply it to your right hand. So he does that. After few days, he is very happy that it has gone. After a couple of weeks, he can see now that bile has come back on his left hand. So now he again went to the doctor. Then he said, you can please apply the same cream which I have given again. So, but that person says, it is really painful. Will you be able to give something which is a permanent cure for this? Then he says that the doctor, no, I don't have any cure for this. So you keep applying whenever it keeps coming back. So he applies it on his left hand. Then after a few days, it goes away. Then he sees that it has come on his leg now. So then he realizes that this is not something maybe this doctor is not telling me the right thing. So let me go and try a different doctor. So he goes to a different doctor and then he tells that this is what is happening to me. Can you please help me to resolve it permanently? Then that particular person, that particular doctor says, this is not something which can be cured permanently by the cream which you are using, but your blood has some impurification. So you have to take an injection for it to be permanently cured. So he goes, takes that injection and he is permanently happy. So he got purified. So likewise, this is like a superficial solution, like applying of a cream, whereas doing the injection is a permanent solution. So it says that boils keep recurring because of impurity in the blood. Our sufferings keep recurring because of our sinful tendency to break God's laws. Science will never be able to solve this problem even in a million years. So here what problem we are talking about is the 4 real problems which we talked about, like birth, old age, disease and death. These are the problems science will never be able to solve, and we have to go through this cycle of birth and death. So Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadhi, the cycle of birth and death, we have to continuously keep going through. So something which we cannot avoid. So even science will not be able to solve even after a million years. That's what it is saying. So we'll move on. Commonly seen problems are what this is the problems which we are going to talk about. Political problem, which includes corruption. Social and cultural problem, which has sexual assaults, poverty, relationships, diverse psychological problems. We'll just go through this one by one anyways in the upcoming slide. So we will be talking about these commonly seen problems as such. So the first political problem which we can see is corruption. So can anybody tell what is corruption? How do we define corruption?
Something unethical.
Okay. Why does people take up to corruption? Why is that? Yeah, unethical is correct. Yeah. What is that other thing? Like why people will tend to take that path?
Greedy.
They see a
Wonderful.
shortcut.
Greedy.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Greedy. Wonderful. So yes, that's the right word. Whoever has said, I did not see the name. Sorry. Yeah, okay, maybe I'll just go through this. So it says that one user, whoever it is, uses his power to accumulate more and give out less. So under the table dealings to take more money. So this is what it is. So gravity of the problem. So this is some stats related to India. Maybe it's not apt to this country, but maybe most of us are Indians. So it's like the black money is got back. So what all can be achieved is what is put here. It's like so many hospitals can be built, primary schools can be taken care, roads can be taken care, all infrastructure can be taken care. Is that such how a big problem is if the black money in India has been. So now we are talking about the root cause of corruption. So why do you think there is corruption happening? Yeah, greedy is the right thing, but why do you think that people are greedy?
When you understand the meaning of the life, you stop being greedy actually.
Yeah, I'm not asking why. How should we stop? I'm asking why people are greedy.
Why people are greedy? Okay.
Yes.
They're never happy with what they have. They always want.
Okay, wonderful, Bhagavan. Yes, so that's the right thing. So they are never satisfied with what they have. Yeah. So they all think that matter is all what that matters. So this is what it is. So if you can see this guy's eyes is lit up. So after looking so much of money, he's extremely happy, and then he's able to see all that money, and then his eyes are so become bold. So this is what is said as a reason for what is happening or why that corruption is happening. So it says in Bhagavad Gita chapter 16 and 11 and 12, Chintam aparimeyancha pralayantam upasritaha kamapabhoga parma yetavad iti nischitaha ashapasha satairbhadda kama krodha parayanaha ihante kama bhogatam anyayena artha sanchayan. So it says that kama bhoga parama. So people are thinking that, or whoever wanted to do this, greedy people, all of them will be thinking that they just wanted to satisfy their senses. So just to satisfy their senses, they will be looking after this. So what they do to satisfy their senses, what they have to go through is chintam. So they will have so much of fear and anxieties in their life. How much of fear and anxiety will be there for them is aparimayam. So it is immeasurable. You will not be able to measure the amount of anxiety or the amount of fear which they go through. They know that they are doing it wrong. That's how they will have lot of anxiety, lot of fear. And how much it is aparimayam. So you cannot measure the amount of unhappiness, or sorry, the amount of fear and anxiety what they have. And how long they are going to have this is pralayantam. So till the end of their body, till they are going to die, they are going to have this innumerable. You cannot measure how much of fear and anxiety they have to go through. So much of fear and anxiety they'll have till the end of their life. So next, what they are going to do is asha pasha satair badhai. So you know, like pasha is like yama pasha is also there. Likewise, the one which is bound. So asha pasha, they will be bound by desires. So much of desires they will be bound. How much of desires is like hundreds and thousands of desires will be coming to them. So what it leads to so much of kama, which is lust. Krodha is anger. So much of lust and anger they will be going through. Ihante kama bhogartham. So to satisfy that, what they will do is anyayena artha sanchayam. So they will try to accumulate artha. Artha is money. Anyayena, by illegal means. So they will try to accumulate money by illegal means. What for? To satisfy their senses, thinking that that is what is something which is going to gratify them. So it is clearly explained in the Bhagavad Gita, saying that people will try to accumulate more and more illegal means, which is corruption. So this is the verse which talks about corruption. This is not new. This is Krishna has already told to Arjuna long back what is going to happen for people who are in corruption, or why. Sorry, I think screen share just got. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So that is what happens to the people who has to go through their desires. So this is what is said in Bhagavad Gita. So the next thing, 4-level cause of corruption. So this is what it is. Someone correctly explained, I think Prakash or somebody said, why corruption happens is because people have greed about accumulating. So they are too greedy about accumulating more and more. I want this, I want this. And what do they think is like just by having money, they will be happy. Having more buildings, having more cars, or more money, everything more and more and more. So they all, why that is happening is like because of the material outlook. So can we tell what is material outlook? So what could be material outlook? Because they are having material outlook, that's why they are becoming greedy. So what is material outlook? Can anybody tell me?
Maybe the attraction.
Okay, attraction, yeah. Anybody else?
A trait wherein you try to accumulate more of the material things, like more of the houses, more of the bikes, more of cars and all.
Yeah, okay.
When you
So
develop that particular trait, you get a material outlook.
Okay, yeah. So material outlook, yeah, much more than into that. So I'll maybe just explain. So material outlook is like everybody thinks. I think in the previous slide I was just showing that. So not this, before that. So they are what they think is like matter is all that matters. So for them, they think that accumulating money is all what that matters. So that is what is a material outlook. So for them, matter is everything. So they are just in the platform of the body. So why people have material outlook is because they are having godless education. There are so many universities, there are so many colleges which teach about engineering and medical and all of it, but none of the universities talk about which is more important, about God. They never talk about God in any of the educational universities, so which is like godless education. So then now I'll talk about what is the actual root cause. So we have seen this: material things can give me happiness. This is the reason what is causing us the corruption. So we have a solution for it here, which says that the spiritual solution: real happiness comes by enriching my spiritual credits. So it says that one has to understand that we are not this body and we are this soul. So in the very, very initial stages of Bhagavad Gita, only Krishna explains to Arjuna. Arjuna was unhappy and he was not able to fight in the battlefield. That's when Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna. Here, where he clearly explains in the initial few chapters, only in the second chapter rather, says that Dehi nosmin yata dehe kaumanam yavmanam jara tata dehantara prapte dhirastatra namuhyati. So it says that, oh Arjuna, this body is something like it grows from youth to old age and then it goes away to the next body. It's the same way, like we grow, the soul will be going through these stages. Similarly, at the time of death, it will take another body. So at the time of death, it will give away this body and then it will take another body. So Krishna is clearly telling Arjuna that you are not this body, you are this soul. So you will have to give up this you have to give up this body at the time of death. That's what Krishna clearly tells to Arjuna. So we are worrying about something which is not permanent as such. So we have to accumulate spiritual credits. So how will we accumulate spiritual credits? Once we understand that we are not this body, we are this soul, is the main understanding which we should have. Once we know that we are not this body and we are this soul, then what we should do is, like the soul, how to make the soul happy. So whatever happiness we are giving, we are going to give to this material body. So how do we make the soul happy is, there is super soul or Krishna or Paramatma. So once we make the connection between the soul and the super soul, if the connection is established, then the soul will be happy as such. So how do we make the connection between both of them, the soul and the super soul? How do you connect both of them? Is we discussed like it says that you have to chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. That is the only way of us doing the connection between the soul and the super soul. So how do we chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra? Let's all say Hare Krishna, Hare
Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Hare Hare,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Rama, Hare Rama,
Rama,
Rama
Hare
Rama,
Hare.
Hare Hare.
So this is the solution which is given in all the Vedas. So I'll just wanted to tell one verse which says in Kali Santana Upanishad, which says that Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Iti Shodashaka Nam Kali Kalmushanashanam, Etat Parataropaya Sarva Vedeshu Drishyate. So it is saying that even if you use a magnifying glass and go and look after the solution for these problems, you will not be able to find any other solution. And Sarva Vedeshu Drishyate. So all the Vedas are telling only one essence, which is nothing but Etat Parataropaya. You don't have any other solution apart from this solution. So and we also talked about Iti Shodashaka Nam. So this is a 16 syllable word. Hare Krishna is like 2 words. Hare Krishna is like that. So it is a 16 syllable word, which is like Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Iti Shodashaka Namna Kali Kalmusha Nashanam. So it is saying that in Kali Yuga, this is what is going to clear all the kalmushas. Basically, whatever accumulation we would have had, the bad things which we would have accumulated, this is the thing which gets cleared out in this Kali Yuga. So that is what it is saying. There is no other way to look at it. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also said that in a similar way. Harer Nama eva kevalam kalau nastyeva gatir anyada. So he has said one same thing 3 times. Harer Nama. So only Hari Nama is the only thing to cure the problem. Kalau nasteva, in Kali, nasteva. There is no other way, there is no other way. So this is the only solution what we have to be able to get rid of this problem or to be able to find the real happiness is by enriching the spiritual credits. So how do we do it? Is like by chanting of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Likewise, there are so many verses or quotes from different Vedas or scriptures which talks about that the only solution what we have is to go through this process of chanting of the holy names of the Lord. So this is one more thing which Krishna has explained. So how a body and a soul is. So the body is just like a shirt, is what it is said. And vasamsi jirnani yata vihaya navani grahanti naroparani tata sarirani vihaya jirnani anyani samyati navani dehi. So our body is just like a shirt that gets old, torn and useless after some time. So it is like this. So now I am wearing this. I cannot keep wearing this forever. So it becomes old and it becomes torn. So then what we will do? We'll always take away this and put on a new shirt. So similarly, what happens to the soul? It goes through the cycle of what we discussed. Kaumaram, Yavvanam, Jara, Tata, Dehantara, Praptir. So Kaumaram is like boyhood, or sorry, when it was young. Kaumaram, Yavvanam, you will become youth. Jara, you will become old age. And then you will give up this body and then it will take up a new body at the time of death. Same thing it is saying. Then as you may change your shirt, the soul changes the body. So similarly, it is like this. So we should understand these instructions which Krishna is giving so clearly in the Bhagavad Gita, that we are not this body and we are the soul. So whom we are, if we ask, we should tell we are a spirit soul, not the body, because the body is something which we cannot identify ourselves, because this is something which we are going to give away. How we are going to give away? It is similar to the way how we are going to give away our shirt which I am wearing now. So it becomes useless. I'll give away and then take a new one. Similarly, we will give away our body at the time of death, and then the soul, basically we in the sense we are the soul, so we will give away our body which has become old at the time of death. Likewise, it goes into this cycle and then it will take again a new birth. So here I would like to also say Manushyanam Sahasreshu. There is one verse which tells that there are so many hundreds and thousands of people who are taking birth, and only one amongst them will become a devotee or will be listening to my instructions as well. So I would like to thank everyone who has joined here. So you are those lucky ones who is here. And then because there are so many others in these towns and cities, but they have different ways of spending their time on a Saturday evening. So you all have opted to come in and listen to these instructions of Sri Krishna, which is wonderful. So you are one amongst those who are like Manushyanam Sahasreshu. So out of thousands and hundreds of people who have opted to listen into the Krishna's instructions and Krishna's pastimes, I thank you everyone. So this is very important for all of us to listen about what Krishna has said. So, and how the current world is, I just wanted to give a nice example which says that there is a parrot in the cage, and there is a cage and there is a caretaker of that cage or the parrot. So this is like the body and the soul. So the one which is in the cage is nothing but our soul, but the cage is nothing but ourselves. We should look into it as ourselves. So what is happening is like the caretaker, which is us, we are taking care of this body, but there is a parrot inside which is like a soul. So we are least bothered about the parrot inside the cage. We are beautifying the cage so much that we are just beautifying the outside of the cage. So whereas the parrot inside is not happy, because until unless you feed something to it, it cannot sustain or it will not be happy. We are just taking care of this external body so well that we are not bothered to take care of the cage or the parrot which is inside. So similarly, we all are doing that. We are taking care of this body, but not within that what is the soul. So let's all take care of the soul as well, which is inside, and not just take care of the cage, which is the body. It is saying that polishing cage, but forgetting the hungry parrot. Similarly, pampering the body, but forgetting the soul. So one more example here, which is given is like we all should understand what is the destination of life. So example is like given like a company gives you a car, it is given for you to take you to home. You have to put petrol in it, you have to wash it, you have to repair it whenever it goes. But the ultimate goal for you is to take the car to go to home. Without doing that, if you just take care of washing it, putting petrol or damaging it or repairing it, it doesn't help. You are not taking care of using it for the actual purpose. So likewise, The same analogy, it is saying that human body is given to us to purify our heart and return back to God. So return back to the Lord. You can eat food, bathe the body and set right, and any disorders in body going to the doctor. But your ultimate goal when God has given you human body is to inquire and go back to Godhead. So this is the ultimate goal of life, which we all should understand. Like going back to Godhead is the ultimate goal of life. Is ultimate goal. So there is also something similar to this, like there is a car, there is a driver. So the car needs the petrol, the driver needs the food. So if you give the petrol to the driver, he will not be able to eat. If you give the food to the car, it will not be able to move. So similarly, like that, you should not give mix and match. So something like that, you should take care of your body. So you should put it in the right way. So you should understand what is required for your body and what is required for your soul, and take care of both of them. This is one more analogy which is given, like Lokpal versus Gopal. So there is government as well. So we all fear for the government, and that's how orders are put in. So is there something like the government will be giving the punishment, whereas the other side there is something called as the higher taste. So just maybe in the last class also I gave that example of what is higher taste. Is there is one person who has been eating just chapati and sabji for so many weeks, so and finally one day you are able to give him, which is a full plate of a thali or full meals with rice maybe and dal and sabjis and with different sweets and maybe with different milkshakes and all of it. So obviously he will be happy, and then he will immediately want to take that thing which is giving him the higher taste. So if you are doing something out of fear, that will not last long, because that is the least motivational factor. We have fear, we have desire, we have love, and these are different things which we have which will motivate us. So if we are doing something out of fear, that is the least motivational factor, because of which you will not be able to motivated to do it or to stop it. Like government is introducing that punishments or whatever, but that is not enough, sorry, for doing it. Whereas out of love, if you are doing something, you will be not able to stop it, or you will be doing that thing much more better than that. So maybe there is one more verse which says that which is explained here. So there is that great king Chandragupta and Chanakya. So whatever are the great men which are going to perform, so that is something which is going to be followed by the people. So that is what it is. So Chanakya is a minister of Chandragupta king. So there is a Chinese man who has come to Chandragupta king and then asked, your kingdom is prospering so much. So what is the reason behind? So he asks that my minister is the reason for it. So then he'll ask the reason for what is the thing. So he goes to that minister. So he tells that you go and ask and find out from my minister. So then he goes to that minister, and then the Chinese man looks at him, and then he will able to that the minister is using a lantern and doing some work. Then he switches off that lantern and then goes inside, and then he will switch on a candle. So the Chinese man has asked him, why did you switch off the lantern and why did you switch on the candle? So then he tells that till now I have been following or doing the office work. So I have been using the property of the government, which is like a lantern, to use it for the lighting. Then now I have completed that work. Now I am going to do my personal work. That's why I switched on this candle. So the Chinese man has understood clearly that if a minister or a great leader is having such a high standard of not misusing the things which is given by the government, then he will be taking care of it. If a person at higher positions is in such a way that the common man will follow, so he is exemplary, he is leading by example how he has to do it in his life. So that's what is the same thing which is explained in the Bhagavad Gita chapter 3 and verse 21. Whatever action a great man performs, common man follow, and whatever standard he sets by exemplary acts, all the world pursues. So there is one more question here. Is punishment necessary? Do we think is punishment necessary? Okay. Anybody can answer? Is punishment necessary?
No.
You hear me? Hare Krishna? Okay. So yes, we do think that the punishment is necessary as such, and is punishment alone is enough? No, it is not enough, because he'll be doing the same thing again and again. So if you just do that, it is not enough. So here you can see Parikshit Maharaj is punishing Kali, but just by punishing people, it is not enough. So these are the different things. Maybe I'll just move on quickly in the interest of time. So we have social problems. So which is the gravity of the problem is like in America, there are three popular games, which are baseball, basketball, and football. So out of all these three as well combinedly, the revenues are not equal to what is being produced by porn industry. So that's how it is. The porn industry is in America as such. So that's how, if you can see, there is so many rapes happening every 1 minute in America. So child abuse and adverse effect on children. So there are not only in America, every country has this problem, which is the social problem, and this is not something new. So if we can see, it has happened in the past as well in Ramayana. So there is Surpanaka, whose nose has been cut by Lakshman, and then he went to he went to Ravana and complained, saying Lakshman has so he did such a thing, but he is not. Ravana was not quite propelled, or was not immediately acting to it. So then she thought about to explain about the beauty of Mother Sita. So she told about the beauty of Mother Sita, and then he explained that you are the greatest king, and such a beautiful woman should be with you. Then he immediately got that desire or lust of basically to have her in his as a queen. So he immediately went to Marichi, and then he wanted him to be becoming as a golden deer. So Marichi has explained him clearly, saying, "Don't go to Lord Ram. He is the greatest person. He's the greatest person. So don't go to him. He has put an arrow, and then I have come and fallen after 10,000 kilometers, or that like that. He is so powerful. Don't go and fight with him." He has explained. So once people, whoever has lust, the problem with those people is like, once they have the lust, it is like whatever may be the reason, or whatever maybe you can give it to them, but they will not be happy with it. At any cost, I want that to happen. So that is the kind of an attitude which they all will possess. So same thing, Ravana also had that kind of an attitude, and he wanted to take away Mother Sita, and then he did out of his lust. And we can also see Lord Hanuman during that time was passing through to see where searching for Mother Sita. That time he has seen so many half-naked women lying there, and they're all so beautiful. So it is like that. How many ever beautiful women you will have, you will still feel like, oh, I will not be satisfied with this. I want one more. I want one more. Likewise, like that is how Ravana was. So he was not satisfied with one woman. So he was just continuously having more and more to satisfy his ego. But that doesn't give us any happiness, or there is no limit to that happiness. So the gravity. Sorry, so this is the reason rapes are happening, is because of the lust and the kama. So why that is happening is like because of the mode of passion or desire to enjoy matter. So in Bhagavad Gita, we can see there are three kinds of qualities we have, like mode of passion, mode of goodness, mode of passion, and mode of ignorance. Satvik, Tamasic, and Rajoguna. So Satvik is mode of goodness. Rajasika is mode of passion, and ignorance is there. Tamasic. So these are the three modes what we have. So this lust is caused by mode of passion, which is there. So mode of passion causes this lust. So we have like the propensity of acquiring things, because of which this happens. So desire to enjoy the matter. So we are looking at what is the solution for it. So we have to minimize our own exposure to agitation, and with the understanding of the philosophy, or we have to redirect our love to Krishna. This is what it is explained. So if we go back to this, so it is also telling one nice thing, that we should understand that we all want an ocean of happiness, but we will not be able to get so much of happiness, because we are trying to enjoy with the matter. So what we are trying to look for is like always trying to look for happiness outside. So we are trying to look for, okay, this will give me happiness, this will give me happiness, that will give me happiness. If I have that only, it will give me happiness. There are so many advertisements which are happening. So if you look at all of the advertisement, they'll always tell, oh, if you buy this, you will be happy. If you buy this, you will be happy. Every advertisement will come and tell like, you will have this, I'll be happy. So everyone will feel that, oh yeah, yes, let me go and buy that. Then that might give you happiness. In our house, we might have so many things, but we might be not really using all of them. We might be using only 10 items, 20 items of what we in our house, because we have bought all of them because of advertisements, whatever has happened. We all keep buying things because of the advertisement. We fall prey into such things. So likewise, our soul needs an ocean of happiness. We will not be able to acquire by the material things. There is one good example for this, which is like one person is going by a riverside. He has seen a mango tree which is there just standing, and there is a reflection of it which is there in the water. So he has seen that there are lakhs of people who are looking for the mango in the water. They are looking for the mango in the water, and they are thinking that that is a real fruit, and there are so many people who are falling into that water trying to catch that mango in the water. And there are people who are selling books as well, how to catch the mango in the water. So so there are so many people who are like that, who are actually not looking at what is going to give them the real happiness. Do you all think that taking the mango in the river is going to give them happiness, with the satisfaction? So taking the fruit in the river, is that going to give them any real happiness? The real fruit is actually on the tree, whereas people are looking at the fruit which is there as a reflection in the water, as that is going to give them the real happiness. That is how we are all looking for. We are all looking for the fruit which is there in the water, but that is not the actual fruit. That is just a reflection. That's how it is. In this material world, everything, whatever we see, is a perverted reflection of the love. So we should all redirect our love towards Krishna, which we have seen here as a solution. It is also said that there are so many marriages. We all tell love in this world. So many people, I love you, you love me, that kind of a thing. There are so many people which keeps talking about, but that love is not something which is real love, because we all know love at first sight, divorce at first fight. That is how it happens. So you love at first sight, and whereas you first fight, you will take a divorce. So that's how the love in this world is actually happening. And we all see like the example of that inverted mango tree as well, whatever we just described. So it is like a inverted reflection of that mango is what people are looking at. So they think that that is the actual happiness. So we all say smiling faces, crying hearts. So that is the example of that particular thing, where we are looking at the mango in the water and think that that is going to give us the real happiness. Whereas the real happiness we are going to get only when we connect only when we connect the Krishna, when we connect our soul to the super soul. That is when we are going to get that real happiness, not otherwise. Let's see, who is that? Okay, so we are all looking for the inverted reflection, which is going to give us happiness, but that's not the case. So what we should do is like the love, whatever we have, we should redirect it towards Krishna. There is one more wonderful example for this. There is a person who is in a desert and he is looking for happiness. Sorry, he was so thirsty, he was looking for water in the desert. So he has been wandering here and there for water, thinking that that is what he really needs, and that is what is going to give him happiness. So he looks at on the sky. There is a helicopter which is coming in, and on the helicopter everywhere it is written water, 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 water. And the person who finally the helicopter, for his happiness, the helicopter has landed next to him, and so he's extremely happy. He's looking at the helicopter, saying, "Oh, now I am going to get what I want." So the helicopter has landed, and the person from the helicopter also has wearing a shirt and a pant which is written all over him. It is written water, water, water. And he takes out a jug as well. Even in the jug as well, is fully written with water, water, water. So that guy thought, what a day! Oh God, so much! I am very happy. I'm going to get extremely happy with this, taking this water. Finally, that guy takes the jug and gives him water. So what there will be? There will be just one drop of water. There will be nothing much. So he was like extremely satisfied by looking at the things which are written as water, water, water. Similarly, like this, in this material world, we are trying to find happiness, but what we get is very, very, very little as compared to the real love. What we should look after is satisfying the spirit soul or satisfying the soul. How we do that is like by connecting that to Krishna, or we should engage ourselves in love. In love, our love should be towards Krishna, because if Krishna is satisfied, everything else is satisfied. That's what it is said. It is an example is like there is a tree, and around the tree you will have a lot of fruits, leaves, branches, and everything will be there. But you are trying to pour water everywhere onto the tree, it will never be satisfied. It will not grow. But if you are pouring the water onto the roots of the tree, it will flourish like anything. Similarly, like that, what we all should do is like we should direct our love towards Krishna, because that is what is the soul looking for or hankering after. So we all should redirect our love towards Krishna, which is going to give us eternal happiness. How will we redirect our love towards Krishna? Is by chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. So that is how you redirect your love. Whatever you have, you are like wanting ocean of love. So let's redirect our love towards Krishna, which will give us the real happiness, or which will take away the problem of the lust, because it will not have that kind of a feeling of unhappiness once it has that. So next, maybe in the interest of time, I'll quickly move on. So we all know about the psychological problems as well. We all, like, once in every 3 people will have one of these problems, like addiction, or stress, loneliness, suicidal attempts, and all of this. So the solution for this, maybe maybe we all know about the recent example of this, which has happened in India. Like there is a Bollywood actor by name Sushant. He has acted in Mr. MS Dhoni movie, or whatever movie name. So he had acquired everything, whatever he wants in his life. So he had money, he had education, he had everything, whatever is required. He was good status, he had everything in his life. But only which is missing is like godless education, which we talked about in the first problem as well. Godless education. He did not had the education about the soul, which has happened, like stress or whatever you call it as. All this is the suicidal tendencies. So which we call it as psychological problems. So one, had he had the knowledge of the soul, that wouldn't have happened. So that is what. So these are important for us to understand how we get rid of the psychological problems. The solution is there. So which is meditation. So there is clearly which is given that the solution for psychological problems is meditation. How do you do a meditation? And there are different yogas which you might do for getting that, but what is prescribed for us is mantra yoga or mantra meditation. So how do we do mantra meditation? We'll come to that. So what is mantra? Mantra is nothing but manas trayate iti mantra. So what is mantra is, sorry, manas. What is manas? Manas is mind. Trayate is the one which delivers the mind is mantra. So the one which delivers the mind is what is called as mantra. So so our mind is always wandering about 3 things. Yeah. So shoka, moha, and bhaya. These are the 3 things our mind will always be wandering about. What is shoka? Is lamenting about past. So what has happened in the past? This shoka. Moha is always wondering, thinking about what is happening, what is going to happen is what it is. So you'll always daydreaming. That is what is that. And bhaya. So we'll always fear about what is going to happen in the past. So the mind will be constantly busy with these 3 things, shoka, moha, and bhaya. So you have to control these 3 things, shoka, moha, and bhaya, because we will never be able to live in our present. So the present is something which is a gift. You have to live in your current state, but you are not able to do that. You are not able to live in your current state because of these 3 things. So the best thing what we all have to do is mantra meditation, which will help us. So the wonderful example also is a student. The student will be, so he is in the current situation, his exam is tomorrow, but he will be thinking about, oh, if I study so well, if I get first rank, I'll be going to America, and I'll be doing that, and I'll be doing this. So he will be thinking about all that things, but he doesn't live in his present day of life, or he doesn't study now. So which will be not enabling him to achieve his goal. So for us to be able to control this, we should be doing this mantra meditation. So there is also, maybe you can all Google as well. If you go on Google and say thoughts for a day. So if you Google that thoughts for a day, it tells that you have 12,000 to 60,000 thoughts which will come in one particular day. 12,000 to 60,000 thoughts. So out of that, it says that the study says that 85% of the thoughts are all negative. And out of those 85% thoughts which are negative, 90% of the thoughts are repetitive in nature. So you will be constantly thinking about the same thing again and again, which are 85% negative. So if you want to divert that or get rid of that negative thoughts and have a positive influence on our mind, we all should be doing this mantra meditation, which will help to get the positive energy to all of us. So getting that positive energy is quite important to get rid of this negative thoughts. So to get rid of that negative thoughts, we should get this positive energy. How do we do to get this positive energy? Is by doing mantra meditation. How do you do a mantra meditation? By chanting once again, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. This is what is important for this Kali Yuga. I think we talked about it, saying Kali Kalmusha Nashanam. So this is very important for this Kali Yuga in this present day, which is prescribed in all the Vedas. So let's all take to this chanting. So we do everyday chanting in the morning. So anybody wanting to join or wanted to know more details, maybe we can connect at the end of the class as to how we should do and what we should be doing in the mantra meditation. So the next problem is ecological problem. Maybe I'll just quickly finish in 10 minutes. I'll not take more time. So this is like the ecological problem. We all know what is happening. We wanted more and more of the things, and what is happening is like industrialization is happening. So the ecological disorders are happening because of that. So we are trying to take more and more out of the mother nature. So we cannot produce these things in the nature. So those are like earth, water, fire, and ether. These things you cannot produce it anywhere. So they are available. You're exploiting mother nature to satisfy or to produce more and more. Why we are producing more and more? Because we have a lot of desires. We are not satisfied with one thing. We think that buying a washing machine or this that will give us happiness, so we will be buying things more and more than what is actually required for us. We don't prioritize what is required, because of which industries are producing more and more. Maybe in the current situation as well, we would have all seen in the economic because of the COVID situation and the lockdown, there is no stocks available because people are just buying more and more than what is actually required, because of which industries are not able to meet, and they're trying to exploit mother nature, because of which the ecological disorders are happening. So this is one thing which we are having. The universe we are living in is owned and controlled by the Supreme Lord. Behind every government there is a prime minister. Behind the universe there is God, the supreme controller. Break government laws, be punished. Break laws of God, invite suffering. So this is all with what happens if we are going to exploit mother nature more and more. If we try to exploit more and more, we'll definitely going to have suffering in our life. So I think we can go through this. The pollution from industries, what is happening, there's no fresh air for breathing, effluents from industry, water pollution is there, and using lands for producing tobacco. Maybe I'll just come to this in economical problems. Killing cows, what will happen is earthquakes, increasing of industries, global warming, meat industry, scarcity of water. So we are originally servants of God. So our original identity is like, I think I was explaining in the previous class as well. So everyone has one key ingredient, which is like, if you take sugar, the key thing for it is like it will be tasting sweet. Likewise, if you take salt, it will be tasting salt. So likewise for the individual, our individual identity is like we are the servant of the God. So that is what it is. So our loving propensity should be directed towards the God. Jiveha Swarupa hai Krishna Nityadas. So Jiva Swarupa is always being eternal servant to the Lord. That is what we should be. But when we try to become a controller, we all think that, yeah, I am great. So that is what is the attitude we all possess, because of which we think that we are the controller, we are the engineer and things like that. And what happens eventually is like we all suffer without understanding the real identity, what is required. We will all be suffering. I'll just move on. So economic problems as well, as I was explaining, simplify our lifestyle, clarify our priorities. So what is required is what we should do. and by chanting and practicing Krishna consciousness, we are purifying ourselves. Maybe here the example which I was to talk about is like economic problems. If you take Africa, Srila Prabhupada is the founder Acharya of ISKCON. He once went to Africa, and while going on the car to the temple, he has seen there is a lot of tobacco fields which are produced. And he went, and then the people are asking, are talking about scarcity and hunger, people are starving and all of it. So he has told one thing clearly, that if it's not having this tobacco fields and then you are producing from food items, then there will be no poverty in your country. So this is like, maybe if you can see here, it says that lack of self-sufficiency or industrialization. So it is like you are producing something which is not required for you, not an essential thing, and producing something which is not required, which is causing you scarcity of food. You don't have enough food. So those are the ones which are causing the economic problems. So you're producing something which is not required. So we have to simplify our lifestyle. Basically, this also talks about that there are so many artificial necessities which we talk about. So artificial necessities, like may it be smoking. People think that that is definitely required. Without smoking, I am not going to live. I'm going to die. So it is an artificial necessity. We don't need to be smoking, without which we cannot live. That is an artificial necessity as such. Without smoking, people can live, but they are getting addicted to it. That's how people think that it is a necessity for them in their life. Likewise, whether it may be TV or whether it may be so many other things, there are like artificial necessities as such. They are not like the actual necessities. So we have to lead a simple life, and we have to have clear priorities in our life, whether what is required in our life. And we should, just by doing chanting and practicing Krishna consciousness, we should try to purify ourselves. And yeah, this is a famous quote which is there. Too many people spend, they haven't earned, to buy things they don't want, to impress people they don't like. This is like, we don't want to buy something because somebody is doing an advertisement or whatever. We go and buy things. Too many people spend money they don't have. So we will be using credit card to buy things. So which is like, we don't have that money currently in our hand, but we are using it to buy it. To buy things that they don't want to buy, because we don't want to actually be in having that necessity to buy it, because somebody is advertising, oh, you have this, you will be really happy, you have this, you will be happy. And people will think that if you don't have, everybody in the society, oh, this is a social status now. If I don't have, people will look at me as if I'm useless, that kind of a thing. So just for that sake, we'll just go and buy that thing, and not to impress people whom we don't want to like, or basically that salesman, whoever is selling, we don't want to be impressing him, but we'll just buy because he will be happy. So that kind of a thing is what is happening. Too many people spend money they haven't earned to buy things they don't want to, but impress the people they don't like. So this is a famous quote which talks about people using credit card and buying things. And we go on to the medical problems. So even in the medical problems, there are different problems which we are facing in the current state of situation. So we try to find solution for one thing, but we don't get the problem for it. But we try to look for more and more of solutions from the existing thing. So there are two things which Krishna has said why we have this problems of medical is not having an improper lifestyle and improper food habits. These are the two things which Krishna has talked about in the Bhagavad Gita, having improper lifestyle and improper food. So he talked about improper improper food, like these are the two things, improper food and improper lifestyle. So he has said clearly in the Bhagavad Gita about the improper food and the improper lifestyle. Yuktahara viharasya yukta chetasya karmashu yukta sapnapnasya yogo bhavati dukkha daha. So it says that he who is regulated in his habits of eating, sleeping, recreation and work can mitigate all material pains by practicing the yoga system. So it is saying that yukta ahara viharasya, like food and sleeping and all of this, if you regulate this, definitely you are going to be happy. But you are not having a regulated food style, so which is nothing but we don't have food regulated or improper food and improper lifestyle. So these are the two things which is going to cause us having problems in our life, which is Krishna has explained clearly in Bhagavad Gita. So it is like it also talks about mode of goodness and mode of passion. So what kind of food is in mode of goodness, what is in mode of passion? So he has talked about this yes shastra vidim yutraya varate kama kartaha na sa siddhim avapnoti na shukam na param gatim. So he says that he who discards scriptural injunctions and acts according to his whims attains neither perfection nor happiness nor the supreme destination. So Krishna has talked about clearly what we should eat and how we should eat, what food is good for us and what is not good for us. He also said, Patram pushpam phalam toyam yo me bhakta prayachiti tadaham bhakta uparhatam asnami prayitatmanaha. So what we should offer to the Lord and with what mood we should offer. You should offer anything with love, then Krishna is going to accept it. So Krishna has clearly spoken about what is it. So having improper food and improper lifestyle is not going to help us. So that is what it is. So we can get rid of these medical problems if we are having improper proper food and proper lifestyle. So the last one which we are talking about today is the religious problems, which is causing communal violence or discrimination. So we can all see we identify people by things, by the bodily complexion. So if a person is wearing a cap, we identify him as a Muslim. If a person is having a cross, then we identify him as Christian. If a person is having a thread, so we are going to tell him as Brahmana. So these are the bodily identification what we all have by looking at different things externally what they put. We all identify people with their bodily complexion. Whereas Krishna has explained in Bhagavad Gita that this is not how you identify people. Chaturvarnam maya sreshtam gunakarma vibhagasya. By the work what you do, that is how you are identified it as. So he has identified it as Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya and Shudra. That is how it is. By the kind of work what you do, not by the birth you take. You're born in a Brahmana family, you cannot be called as Brahmana. You're born in a Sudra family, you cannot be called as Sudra. You're born in a Kshatriya, you cannot be called. By the way you are behaving or by the way you are acting, that's how you should be determining yourself as what you belong to. Krishna has never explained that this is how it is, like you have a cap, you are a Muslim. No, all the religions are the same. So it is said that Allah is equal to Christ is equal to Krishna, or Krishna is equal to Allah is equal to Christ. So it is clearly called out that there is only one God. There is only one God. So you can call by the different names. You might be calling him Allah, you might be calling him Christ, or you might be calling him in Krishna. So, but there is only one God. So once you have this understanding of there is only one God, then you will be very, very happy. So for example, there is sun god, you will be calling him by name of Bhaskara, you might be calling him as Dinakara, you might be calling him as Ravi. So these are different names which are given for the same person. So likewise, Krishna also might be called as Allah, he might be called as Christ. So it is like that, but we all should understand there is only one God amongst all of us. So once we understand this, then we all will be not having this discrimination, or we will not be having this problem. So it is said that Nityo Nityanam Chetanas Chetananam Yeko Bahunam Yo Vidadati Kaman Yeko Bahunam. So it is saying that there is only one God. In the verses of the Shastras also it is saying there is only one God. Why are you having these differences in the religions? There is only one God. So we all know, we all talk about universal brotherhood, which will help us to resolve these problems. That's how we always talk about universal brotherhood. But how is that universal brotherhood going to be achieved? You cannot achieve universal brotherhood without understanding the concept of universal fatherhood. So we are all coming down from one person, so which is Krishna. So if we understand that we are all belonging to the one family at the end of the day, then universal brotherhood can be easily achieved. So we all should understand the concept of universal fatherhood to be able to resolve these problems of religious problems or communal violences, whatever happens. So these are different things which I have put here, like suicide or shooting by children or whatever, divers, rat race, pollution, bribery, stress, food shortage. There are different material problems which we have, and what are the solutions which are given in the Shastras. So we can go through that maybe in the interest of time. I'm not going through it now. And in the last class, I talked about this story, prodigal son story. This is the last thing which I'll put to conclude this session. Maybe I overran, sorry for it. The prodigal son story goes like this. There will be one father, and he will have two sons. One is very, very obedient son, and the next one is like who doesn't like his father. He wants it to be always separated, and he wants to enjoy himself, that kind of a person. So he goes to the father and says, give me my share of money, give my share of wealth. I am going to be separated from you. I don't want to be with you. So he wanted to go away and enjoy separately from his father. So finally the father says that no, how will you live without me? You will be cheated outside if you go outside. But he doesn't listen to his father. But he wants to go away from his father and enjoy separately. So he takes away and then money and goes away to a different place. And then he takes away his share, he makes friends, and he will enjoy with his friends. So what happens is like after a few days, all the friends will enjoy with whatever wealth he has, and then the wealth gets extinguished. He will be done with his wealth. So he will not be able to left with any money. So what happens is like, because he doesn't have any money, so he will try to find a job for himself so that he can lead a life at least. So what happens is like he will try to find a job, and finally one person gives a job. What job does he gets is like basically taking care of animals. So he will give some food to feed to the animals. So that person says whatever remaining after you feed to the animals, you have to eat that and you have to sustain. So he will be living like that for a few days, where he will be having the food what is being fed to the animals, whatever leftovers, he will be eating that. And he will start crying to himself so much, so that I am far better off staying with my father, and instead of being separately enjoying without my father. And he will think about, oh, if I would have been with my loving father, he would be feeding me this, he would be feeding me that, he will be taking care of me so nicely, and all of it. But after then, finally one day he realizes and he tells to himself, oh, let me go back to my father. At least he may not be accepting as my son, as his son. He will at least accept me as his servant. So he will go to him, and then he will tell, oh please, he will go to him. Then but the father, when he was about to enter into the village itself, the father gets to know that his son is coming back. The father was overjoyed seeing that his son is coming back. So, and he took a cart and then went to the near to the end of the village, and he has seen his son. He jumped out from the cart, and then he goes and hugs his son. He is extremely happy to take his son back. So, but the son asks him, Father, I have dejected you. I said I don't need you, and then I have run away from you. But you still love me so much, and you are taking me so close to you. Can I understand how you are able to do this? And then the father replies, you are my son. How can I be hatred to you? I'll always love you. So that is how a father is towards his son. So we are all in the same position of that particular son, and the father is like that of the Krishna. So Krishna is always looking towards us. He is always waiting for us to come and look towards him. But we all wanted to enjoy separately. We don't want to be with Krishna. We all wanted to enjoy ourselves, thinking that we will be able to find happiness in this world. But this world, we are not finding any happiness. So finally, we all have to realize and go back to Godhead with the instructions which Krishna is giving by following. There are so many shastras, there are so much of wealth in Srimad Bhagavatam, Srimad Bhagavad Gita. I think I tried to explain whatever I have understood in the short span of time. But my humble request for all of you is like, because this is an ocean of knowledge, which I know only a drop of it. I'm trying to explain it to you guys, but we have to understand more and more to be able to go back our understanding of what is soul, or what is our relationship, who am I, and all of this. My humble request for all of you is like, please continue to attend these sessions, by which we will be able to discuss more and more on these topics of what is Krishna saying in Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam. So my humble request to all of you, please continue to attend our session. The next session which I talk about will be art of work. So basically we all will be doing work. There will be no person who will be doing without work. I'm not just talking about people who are going to office and working, but there is kids, there is wife who is home wife, all of them are bound to do work. Without work, there can be nobody. So the next topic which I am going to talk about is work. I request everyone to continue to join so that we will be able to explore more and more of what Krishna is saying in the Shastras and how it is going to help us in our life, how we will be doing it and this. So this example as well is wonderful. So let's all continue to chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So this is what is the Maha Mantra for this Kali Yuga. So let's all please chant this Hare Krishna Maha Mantra and be happy. That's what the instruction. Yeah, I'll stop here. Maybe I have overrun or how it is. I'm not sure. Sorry if I've taken more time. So now I'm happy to take questions or any feedback, any comments. Please feel free to unmute yourself and speak, please. Hare Krishna. Am I audible? Any questions, anyone? Or any comments or feedback which you wanted to share, please feel free to speak now. Maybe I did not give time. I was rushing through because of the interest of the time. Sorry. Maybe we'll discuss the few topics whichever I have rushed through in the upcoming sessions which we are going to talk about, which is going to be really nice and useful. Any point which you like and take away from the class, maybe you can share that as well. Any analogy or any example which has touched you?
Everything.
Prakash or Bhagwan, you wanted to give any feedback? Amit Prabhu, you want to share a feedback? Prakash, you're there? Bhagwan?
Yes, Suresh. It was really very informative and very insightful. Thank you for it.
Thank you. Please continue to join our future sessions. It will be on the same day every Saturday, 7 o'clock. I hope it will be okay to do 1.5 hours because it might overrun for some time because of lot of information what is there. I'll try to fit in as soon as possible in the best interest of time.
Sure. Definitely.
Venkat Prabhu, you wanted to share any reflections from the class? Any feedback?
It was good actually. This is the first time I am attending the class. Yeah, but it was good.
Thank you so much. Maybe you were interactive as well. Thank you for your participation. Yeah, we need, this is not like something I will just present and we need to listen. So it's like a discussion kind of a thing because I had a lot of content to speak. That's why I've been just speaking. But now I think we can all open up and then feel free to share your feedback or comments, which is quite important for me as well to understand and to be able to implement in life. Maybe there are any improvements which you want to suggest, please free to write to me one-to-one as well, or you want feel free to tell now as well. Varsha Mataji, you wanted to say something?
Sure.
Santoshni Mataji, you were there in last session as well. You wanted to give me any feedback? Please feel free. Unni Prabhuji, I can see you as well. You were there in last class. You want to give any feedback for me? Or any point which you have liked? I can see in the chat one of the Mataji has said, Rama Mataji, it was a nice session, thank you. Smiling faces, crying hearts is something I got so connected to. So maybe, yeah, so we all externally look, we are happy, but internally we all know we are not that happy. We just do a show off to go outside world saying that yeah, everything is going good, everything is fine, I am extremely happy. But if you look inside, we are not really happy because whatever we are doing is not something which is giving us real happiness. It just only, yeah, I'm happy, only just to show off. That's how it happens. Actually, if you look inside, it doesn't give that happiness as such. Santoshni Mataji, you want to say something?
Yeah, thank you, Prabhuji. It's very informative. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
We
please.
are learning a lot. Actually, the things which we doesn't know
Thank you,
through the
Mataji.
sessions. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. I would like request everyone to continue to attend because this is an ocean of knowledge, as I was saying. So not something which we can complete in one session or 1 hour or things
Exactly.
like that. We'll just try to do as much as possible in the every week. At least we can spend some time to understand our Vedas or what Krishna has spoken about in Bhagavad Gita and what are the stories which are there in Srimad Bhagavatam. If there is nothing everyone has, my kind request for all of you will be to continue to chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Yeah, anytime, whatever you get, we normally do 108 times is what is at least minimum prescribed. So it is like one mala, 108 times is what we do. So whenever you get time during the day, please start doing this 108 times of Maha Mantra. And then it takes only 10 minutes. So I am sure that you all will be able to spend 10 minutes. I know you will spend 24 hours in a day to satisfy your body. But what is the internal thing, like the kind of example of a parrot and a cage? We are the parrot inside the cage, but not the cage itself. So we are spending so much of time taking care of the cage, but not the parrot which is inside, which is the soul for us. So please spend 10 minutes for yourself, and you can see yourself how much of difference it will make, how much of happiness you will derive from chanting of the Hare Krishna, because that is where the soul will get connected to the Paramatma. So please try to do the chanting of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. I'm happy to close here. If somebody likes to listen to the Kirtan, I'm happy to do for 10 minutes or 5 minutes, whichever way you want to comfortable. So feel free. Now I'm open. Either you guys can leave or listen to the Kirtan, or any questions which you have in your life, or anything on the philosophy or what we talked about, please feel free. Riddhi, you want to ask some questions?
Will we get a copy of the recording, won't we?
Yeah, you will get, yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, if there is nothing, I'll maybe do a kirtan for 10 minutes. Feel free if you wanted, if you're in a hurry to go off, or feel free to be there. I would request all of you to unmute yourself and speak, or maybe, sorry, just to do the kirtan along with, after I repeat. You can all repeat, so that this is something which is going to purify us. That's how we do the kirtan for. So please follow after me. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Krishna, Hare